For older adults, your refrigerator could pose unexpected risks, and this is especially true for 9 specific food items. The U.S. Department of Agriculture reports that over 2 million instances of foodborne illnesses annually are linked to improper refrigeration. However, a critical aspect often overlooked is that individuals over the age of 60 are 4 times more susceptible to severe complications from these food-related issues. This heightened vulnerability stems from weakened immune systems, reduced ability to combat bacteria effectively as we age. Furthermore, certain foods, which may appear entirely benign or even beneficial, can transform into agents of toxicity, inflammation, or digestive distress when subjected to chilling temperatures. The reality is rather stark. Large food corporations have perfected the art of extending shelf life, creating artificial freshness, and facilitating mass distribution. Much of what finds its way into the refrigerators of seniors today is not primarily designed for health, but for marketing appeal, capitalizing on the tendency not to scrutinize product labels closely. The science behind this is alarming. Some refrigerated staples can elevate inflammation markers by over 42%, while others contribute to sarcopenia, the accelerated age-related muscle decline affecting nearly half of seniors. You might be making a conscious effort to eat healthier, yet still experience increased weakness, reduced agility, and a feeling of being off balance. In this presentation, we will unveil the 9 most detrimental foods that seniors should strictly avoid, storing in their refrigerators, commencing with the 9th item and progressing to the 1st. Stay tuned, as the top-ranked item is not merely detrimental. It has been associated with abrupt declines in mobility and cognitive function among seniors, even when consumed in minimal quantities, despite being heavily marketed as a quintessential healthy refrigerated item. Our team has diligently reviewed numerous peer-reviewed human studies, ingredient inventories, food safety advisories, and geriatric research. All cited references are accessible in the description section below. Before we proceed, we value your input. Please share your location and identify one item currently in your refrigerator that you feel uncertain about. We actively monitor and respond to every comment. Without further delay, let us begin with item number 9, a food that masquerades as homemade but has been significantly depleted of its inherent nutritional value. At number 9, bread. Many seniors habitually place bread directly into the refrigerator to preserve its freshness. A seemingly sensible approach. However, cold environments do not preserve bread, they degrade it. When carbohydrate-rich foods like bread are exposed to cold, they undergo a phenomenon known as retrogradation. In essence, this process causes the starch molecules to solidify, rendering them less digestible. This not only accelerates the staling process of the bread, but also impedes your body's ability to break it down, particularly when digestive functions are already less efficient after the age of 60. Consider the case of Carl, age 73, who attributed his persistent bloating and constipation to the natural aging process. However, upon transferring his bread from the refrigerator to a pantry, he observed a remarkable improvement within a single week. He experienced a lighter sensation in his stomach, his afternoon energy slumps vanished, and his blood sugar levels, which typically surge post-meal, became consistently stable. The only change he made was the storage location of his bread. According to research published in the Journal of Cereal Science, refrigerated bread exhibits a 25% lower glycemic index. This, however, does not translate to enhanced health benefits. Rather, it prolongs the digestive process, leading to increased gut residency time and subsequent fermentation in seniors with sensitive intestines, often exacerbating issues like gas, cramping, and irregular bowel movements. For seniors already contending with sluggish digestion or symptoms akin to irritable bowel syndrome, cold bread can subtly wreak havoc. The recommended practice is to store bread in a cool, dark pantry, ensuring it is tightly wrapped, and to consume it within a few days. Freezing is an acceptable alternative, provided the bread is toasted directly from its frozen state. Never permit it to remain in the refrigerator. Our next item is even more surprising, given its common classification as a superfood. At number 8, tomatoes. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a potent antioxidant associated with a reduced risk of heart disease and improved visual acuity. However, refrigerating fresh tomatoes alters their texture, diminishes their flavor, and leads to a degradation of their nutrient profile. Research conducted at the University of Florida indicates that chilling tomatoes below 50 degrees Fahrenheit disrupts their natural enzymatic activity, impacting everything from taste to the stability of antioxidants. Take, for instance, Gloria, who is 66 years old. She consistently kept tomatoes in her refrigerator, believing it extended their freshness, yet she observed that they invariably tasted bland and watery. During one summer, after relocating her tomatoes to the countertop, she not only noticed a significant improvement in flavor, but also experienced a reduction in acid reflux, fewer mouth sores, and less joint inflammation. Her rheumatologist was astonished. It transpired that the chilled tomatoes were adversely affecting her already sensitive intestinal lining. When stored cold, tomatoes undergo cell wall breakdown, which hastens fermentation within the intestines after consumption, resulting in increased gas, bloating, and inflammation, particularly for seniors with compromised digestive systems. Even more concerning, tomatoes that are chilled and subsequently reheated may lose as much as 32% of their natural vitamin C content, according to a study published in Post-Harvest Biology and Technology. For individuals over 60, it is advisable to store tomatoes on the counter in a bowl, allowing them to breathe and ripen naturally. Your joints, digestive system, and palate will undoubtedly appreciate this adjustment. Now, prepare yourself, as the subsequent refrigerated item may be a regular component of your morning meal and is potentially exacerbating leg pain without your knowledge. At number 7, potatoes. The majority of individuals store potatoes in the refrigerator without a second thought. However, this simple practice can transform them into a potential health hazard, especially for seniors. When potatoes are chilled, the cold temperature initiates a process known as cold-induced sweetening. This causes the starches within the potato to convert into sugars at an accelerated rate. While seemingly innocuous when these sugars are subsequently cooked, such as through baking or frying, they produce acrylamides, a chemical compound linked to nerve damage and an increased risk of cancer. The Food and Drug Administration warns that exposure to acrylamides is particularly detrimental to older adults due to their slower detoxification processes. Consider Henry, age 70, who enjoyed baked potatoes but consistently experienced elevated blood sugar levels, despite his avoidance of sugary foods. After receiving guidance from a nutritionist to cease refrigerating his potatoes, his post-meal sugar readings stabilized within weeks. The discrepancy was not in his dietary choices, but in his storage methods. A study published in Food and Chemical Toxicology revealed that potatoes stored in cold temperatures developed up to 3 times more acrylamides when cooked compared to those maintained at room temperature. For seniors, this not only imposes additional digestive stress, but also strains the nervous system, potentially leading to tremors or neuropathy. The solution is straightforward. Store potatoes in a cool, dry pantry or a paper bag, away from direct sunlight, and never in the refrigerator. This ensures their starches remain stable and their nutrients are preserved. Our next item, however, is even more deceptive, as it is widely regarded as a cornerstone of a healthy breakfast. At number 6, bananas. Bananas do not belong in the refrigerator. The cold not only darkens their peel, but also disrupts their enzymatic activity and diminishes their antioxidant capacity. The enzymes present in bananas play a crucial role in regulating their natural sugar content. Refrigeration causes the peel to darken, while the fruit itself becomes soft, excessively sweet, and more difficult to digest. Consider Alice, age 68, who refrigerated her bananas to maintain their freshness. However, she began experiencing abrupt blood sugar spikes following her morning banana, accompanied by fatigue and headaches. Her dietitian explained that chilled bananas lose a portion of their resistant starch, the type of starch that moderates sugar absorption. Within a week of transitioning to countertop stored bananas, Alice's energy levels improved and her cravings subsided. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Food Quality confirmed that bananas experience a significant reduction in polyphenols and vitamin C when subjected to cold storage. This is particularly concerning for seniors, as vitamin C is instrumental in collagen production and immune system health. It is best to store bananas on the counter, ideally in a hanging basket. If they ripen too quickly, peel them and freeze them for use in smoothies, but never store whole bananas in the refrigerator. Now, brace yourself. as the subsequent item is likely consumed almost daily and is subtly elevating your blood pressure. At number 5, soy sauce and other high-sodium condiments. Most individuals refrigerate soy sauce after opening, but the reality is that it does not require refrigeration. For seniors, the more significant concern is not the storage location, but the substantial sodium content it harbors. A mere tablespoon of regular soy sauce can contain upwards of 900 milligrams of sodium, representing nearly half of the recommended daily intake for older adults. Refrigeration does not enhance its safety or health benefits. It simply encourages its frequent use without acknowledging the detrimental impact. Mark, age 74, struggled with swollen ankles and excessively high blood pressure. While he refrained from adding salt directly to his meals, he frequently used soy sauce from his refrigerator to marinate his chicken. Following a routine checkup, his physician identified condiment usage as the source of his sodium overload. When Mark switched to a low-sodium alternative and reduced his overall intake, his swelling subsided, and his blood pressure finally came under control. Research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association indicated that a mere 25% reduction in sodium consumption resulted in a 30% decrease in hypertension risk among adults over 60. Keeping high-sodium condiments in the refrigerator makes it easy to overconsume them, particularly when chilled, as one may not realize the quantity being poured. For seniors, the most prudent approach is to substitute soy sauce with milder alternatives such as coconut aminos or diluted low-sodium versions. Store these in a cupboard, where they are less likely to be a constant temptation every time the refrigerator door is opened. However, if you believe sauces pose the greatest hidden threat, consider this next food item, which is often presented with health-conscious labeling, but may be undermining your gut health. Before we move on, if you've been finding this video beneficial, please give it a thumbs up and remember to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Number 4. Yogurt with added fruits or flavorings. At first glance, fruit-infused yogurt appears to be a wholesome option, particularly for breakfast. However, once it's placed in the refrigerator, a subtle danger begins to escalate. These flavored yogurts are frequently laden with added sugars, artificial sweeteners, and chemical stabilizers that accelerate fermentation when chilled, thereby upsetting the delicate equilibrium of beneficial bacteria they are intended to foster. In essence, the very food you're consuming for your digestive health might be subtly harming it. Allow us to introduce Carol, who is 72 years old. Each morning, she would retrieve her preferred peach-flavored yogurt from the refrigerator, under the belief that it aided her digestion. Instead, she began experiencing increased bloating, constipation, and peculiar sugar cravings by midday. Upon reviewing the nutrition label, her physician noted that it contained 19 grams of sugar per serving, exceeding that of a donut. When she transitioned to plain Greek yogurt and incorporated fresh fruit herself, her digestive processes normalized and her energy levels subsequently improved. A study published in Nutrition Reviews indicated that older adults who regularly consumed high-sugar dairy products were 32% more prone to experiencing digestive irregularities and bloating. Compounding the issue, refrigeration imparts a misleading impression of freshness to flavored yogurts, making it more probable for seniors to select them without recognizing their highly processed nature. If you store yogurt in the refrigerator, ensure it is unflavored, unsweetened, and rich in protein. Enhance it with your own blueberries or chia seeds for added fiber, but steer clear of those brightly colored, dessert-like containers masquerading as healthy options. Still believe that's concerning? The subsequent item is even more problematic, as it has been marketed to seniors as being exceptionally healthy for years, and it resides in nearly every refrigerator. Number 3. Deli meats. Whether labeled as cold cuts, turkey slices, ham, or bologna, deli meats represent one of the most deceptive convenience foods found in your refrigerator. These thinly sliced, salty, and processed meats are infused with nitrates, preservatives, and sodium levels that significantly elevate your risk of stroke after the age of 60. The issue extends beyond the meat itself. It encompasses the processing it undergoes, and its storage in the refrigerator makes it easier to inadvertently consume these hidden risks on a daily basis. Consider Joe, age 69. He swapped bacon for turkey slices, believing he was making a healthier dietary choice. However, he began waking with sensations of numbness in his fingers, mental fogginess, and tightness in his calves. Following a visit to his doctor, it was revealed that his sodium levels were alarmingly high, and his nerve health was starting to deteriorate. The perpetrator? The lean turkey he kept refrigerated, which was packed with sodium phosphate and potassium nitrate. After eliminating these from his diet, Joe's blood pressure decreased, and his energy levels surged within a fortnight. A study conducted in 2020 and published in the journal Stroke found that seniors who consumed processed deli meats more than 4 times per week had a 44% greater likelihood of experiencing a stroke compared to those who avoided them. While the cold temperature prevents these meats from spoiling, it does nothing to shield your arteries from their internal composition. Instead of opting for cold cuts, consider preparing a fresh chicken breast and slicing it yourself. Store it in a sealed glass container for use in sandwiches or salads. This approach allows you to bypass the chemicals, excessive salt, and the insidious damage they can cause. However, if you consider deli meats to be problematic, prepare yourself for what is frequently stored in the rear of the refrigerator, which could be contributing to inflammation, weight gain, and even depression in seniors. Number 2. Store-bought salad dressings. You reach into your refrigerator, select a salad dressing that appears healthy, pour it over your greens, and believe you have made a wise nutritional decision. But here is the stark reality. That bottle might be negating all the health benefits your salad offers. The majority of refrigerated salad dressings are essentially chemical concoctions brimming with added sugars, hydrogenated oils, preservatives, and even artificial coloring. Furthermore, many contain substantial quantities of soybean oil, which has been associated with metabolic dysfunction and inflammation. Meet Brenda, 66 years old. She consumed a salad nightly, aiming to reduce her weight and manage her cholesterol. Yet, after several months, her joint pain intensified. Her weight remained stagnant, and she began experiencing more pronounced sugar cravings. Her nutritionist finally examined her dressing, an organic ranch blend, and discovered it contained 140 calories per 2 tablespoons, in addition to 4 distinct additives known to induce insulin spikes. When Brenda switched to a simple dressing of olive oil, lemon, and herbs, she lost 6 pounds in a single month and reported that her knees felt better than they had in years. A striking study from 2022, published in Nutrients, reported that seniors who routinely consume processed dressings had a 22% increased risk of inflammatory episodes and digestive imbalance when contrasted with those who utilized fresh oils and vinegars. Keeping these dressings chilled does not halt the internal chemical turmoil. It merely perpetuates a false sense of well-being. If you must store dressing in the refrigerator, prepare your own. Blend olive oil with apple cider, vinegar, garlic, and herbs. This process takes a mere 2 minutes and can halve your risk of inflammation, but resist the allure of brightly colored bottles bearing light or organic labels. These designations frequently conceal what refrigeration cannot rectify. And now, what is the paramount food item that seniors should absolutely avoid refrigerating? This final item is ubiquitous, frequently utilized, and perceived as ordinary, yet it might be triggering memory impairment, abrupt drops in blood sugar, and a serious condition that most individuals do not associate with diet. Number 1. Canned tuna after it has been opened and refrigerated. It serves as one of the most prevalent protein sources in the homes of seniors, being economical, convenient, and abundant in omega-3 fatty acids. However, the act of refrigerating canned tuna after opening it is where significant risks emerge. Once exposed to air, tuna undergoes rapid oxidation, particularly when retained within its original metal container. This process generates detrimental compounds known as lipid peroxides, which accelerate cellular aging, inflame blood vessels, and can exacerbate memory issues in older individuals. A 2021 study featured in the Journal of Food Science demonstrated that oxidized fish oils from improperly stored tuna can elevate markers of oxidative stress by over 43%. This is the very same stress linked to Alzheimer's disease, arthritis, and muscle deterioration. Now, let us consider Richard, who is 66 years old. He would open a can of tuna, consume half, and place the remainder in the refrigerator, still in its metal can. By the end of the week, he felt increasingly bloated, mentally sluggish, and generally unwell. His daughter attributed these symptoms to advanced age, but a dietitian immediately identified the underlying issue. Once he transitioned to storing leftover tuna in a glass container and consuming it within 24 hours, his digestion improved, the inflammation in his hands subsided, and his energy levels rebounded significantly. For seniors, especially those with slower metabolic rates, the toxins from oxidized fish fats accumulate rapidly. This can counteract the benefits of healthy omega-3 fatty acids and, conversely, trigger nerve inflammation, skin reactions, and sudden spikes in blood pressure. The most concerning aspect is that most product labels do not provide this crucial warning. You believe you are benefiting your body, but you are subtly contributing to your aches, cramps, and cognitive decline. Therefore, if you have partially used cans of tuna in your refrigerator, discard them. Always transfer leftovers to sealed glass or ceramic containers. Even better, consume it all fresh or freeze it immediately if longer storage is necessary. Your brain, joints, and muscles will undoubtedly notice the positive transformation. So, there you have it. 9 common foods that should ideally not be kept in your refrigerator, especially if you are over 60 years old. Some of these may seem innocuous. Others might have even been promoted to you as healthful. However, when stored improperly or consumed too frequently, they gradually diminish your strength, your memory, your circulation, and, most critically, your independence. This is not merely about food, it is about regaining control. It is about preventing silent adversaries from robbing you of the years you still have to live vibrantly, move with strength, and think with clarity. The unfortunate reality is that food manufacturers and the multi-billion-dollar grocery industry are indifferent to the impact these foods have on seniors. However, we are not. That is precisely why every assertion made here is supported by published research. Every single reference is provided in the description below. Before you depart, please share in the comments section one item currently in your refrigerator that you intend to re-examine. We read and respond to every comment, and your experience could offer assistance to someone else with similar concerns. And if this video proved valuable, please click the like button and subscribe, as we are just beginning. More health tips beneficial for seniors are forthcoming. Remain astute, maintain your strength, and do not allow your refrigerator to become an antagonist. We will see you in the next presentation. Should you have any inquiries or wish to share your personal experiences, feel free to post a comment below. Thank you for watching.